Currie, we've been told that these measures are all down to our good British common sense. A lot of people, desperate, for instance, to see their families, will be looking at offices, businesses, places like Burger King drive-thrus, getting back to work, where people will be congregating, workers will be collecting together and thinking, isn't it just common sense that if I can see someone at work, why can't I see a member of my family or a couple of members of my family outdoors in a park? Why do I have to limit it just to one person at a time? Isn't it common sense? And if I can be in an office with lots of different people, if I can be in a studio with lots of different people, couldn't I be out on the common with lots of people I know?
Well, Susanna, the way you put that question suggests to me that you haven't actually read the government's plan, the 50-page plan, because
OK, well, can I just put you right? Because I have read every word of the government's 50-page plan.
Okay.
So, sorry, which bit of it said that I could meet my whole family outside on the common?
Well, because it explains very carefully that if you meet a family, another household, and then that family meets another household, that's a transmission rate that perhaps we can cope with.
But hang on, if I'm on the common, I'm meeting lots of other households. I just don't know them.
Well, with all due respect, I want to know from you, what is it about social distancing and wash your hands that you don't understand?
Right, I understand social distancing. I have to stay 2 metres away from anybody else on the common. So on the common, I stay 2 metres away from lots and lots of other people who are on the common, but I'm only allowed to actually know one of them. So I can be on the common 2 metres away from lots of people I don't know, but I'm not allowed to know more than one of those people. And if I see someone else that I know, I have to move away from them towards other people I don't know.
You've got it. You've got
Brilliant.
it. You
That's
keep your distance.
total common sense. And as long as I go home and wash my hands, everything's absolutely fine.
Yeah, Edwina, the trouble is, it's all complete nonsense, isn't it? It's not common sense. It obviously makes absolutely zero sense. For example, I can have a cleaner come to my house, who might be cleaning various other houses, and they can wander around my house, maintaining social distancing, but I can't have either of the two sons I haven't seen in 10 weeks do the same. Why? Explain where that makes sense.
Well, it feels uncomfortable because that's not the way we normally do things.
No, it's not uncomfortable. You said it's about common sense. No, but hang on. I asked you specifically...
No, hang on. You're asking me a question.
But answer the question about why I can have a cleaner come into my house. All right, go on then.
Piers, I'm trying to answer your questions, and you and Susanna just keep interrupting.
Well, go on then.
No wonder the
floor is yours.
Come on, if you keep doing that.
Come on, Miss Common Sense. Show me why that makes sense.
Are you going to give me a chance? You're going
to keep on with it. Answer the question.
You're wasting my answer time when you do that.
We'll cut you off if you keep going. Answer the question.
I know what you're up to. I know what you're up to.
Oh, you crafty old devil. Come on.
It doesn't feel right because we are social beings. But it is common sense to make arrangements only to see one other household. If you start seeing multiple households, then the reproduction rate of this horrible
We know that. That wasn't my question.
Up again.
Edwina, Edwina, that wasn't my question. That's why, unfortunately, I had to interrupt you, because you were answering a different question. My question was, why... You say it all makes perfect sense. Why can a cleaner come into my house several times a week, but neither of the two sons I haven't seen in 10 weeks can do the same? Explain to me.
Right, because your cleaner's supposed to be cleaning and making your house a much healthier place, making sure all the surfaces, the doorknobs, the toilets, everywhere else, anywhere else.
But one of my sons is a great cleaner. He can do that. So why can't he do that?
Fine.
Fine?
Well, your son's a cleaner, that's lovely. OK, so
you think my youngest son is a good cleaner, he can come and do that job?
Let's come back to people going back to work.
No. I want you as the epitome of common sense. You've just said to me that my youngest son, who's a good cleaner, can come into my house. As long as he does a bit of cleaning, he can come and see me. Is that what you just said?
You are haranguing me. If you are going back to work...
I'm just literally repeating what you just said.
You can have your cleaner in your house.
Can it be my son, Edwina?
Is important.
Can it be my son?
Your son is important. people from two different households, you're starting to take the risk.
Yeah, I know all that. Can my son come and clean my house? Yes or no?
Then you understand it. I'm sorry, you understand it. You're
Is it a yes,
Edwina,
though?
just a straight yes or no. You like a straight answer. Can my son, who's a good cleaner, come and clean my house and I see him in my house?
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Yeah,
That seems common
see,
sense.
now that's where you're applying your common sense. Unfortunately, that's completely against the rules that have been set by the Conservative government. See, as I said at the start, you're talking total flannel.
So can Brian Booth. Brian Booth is West Yorkshire Police Federation
we're done with
chairman.
you for now.
Brian Booth, can I ask you, as a police officer, how you are going to police that? When, for instance, if now we have one other person in our house and a police officer knocks on the door and says, I understand you're mixing households, and I say, actually, this person is my cleaner, how are you going to enforce the rules?
Simply we can't. It's impossible. And what's just played out in front of all your viewers is the confusion and the mixed messaging and people's understanding of this. Put into this the police mix, and we've got to try and do some cohesive working with society to make sure everyone keeps safe. And as we're talking now, the law, you're talking about private premises. There is no power of entry for police officers to go into private premises.
OK, so Brian Booth, can I put another point to you then? If I'm on the common and there are a number of people at a 2-metre distance, and you come up to me and say, do you know these people? And I do, but I say, I've never met them before in my life. How do you enforce that? As long as we're socially distanced, surely that's OK. But apparently I'm only allowed to know one of them.
We don't, and it's very difficult because, unbelievably, people do lie to police officers. I've spent 25 years in policing, and I've met a lot of liars and people that tell me something that makes their story correct, you know, and would avoid prosecution. It's an impossible task, and what's happened yesterday, we got given a whole new list of excuses of how people can not abide to social distancing and the rules set by the government.
Yeah, and I've got enormous sympathy for the police. I think it's outrageous the flack you guys have been getting. Trying to enforce the impossible is what we've basically now tasked the police with doing. Basically, you can construct, as we just did, any excuse to get around this that you possibly want to do. My youngest son happens to be a very good, conscientious cleaner. He likes doing it. He's a bit weird for a 19-year-old, but he likes cleaning houses. He could come and be a very good cleaner in my house, but he's not allowed to be. But I can get a random cleaner to come in and do it, and that makes no sense. So when Boris Johnson says you've got to show common sense, why doesn't he start with asking himself that question?